Let me ask you a question. If I replaced your own mother with an exact copy of her, would you notice? Would anyone notice? How long do you think it would take you to notice? I'm sure you'd have a lot of questions, right? Like, who is this person that's taken your mother's place? Is she still your mother? Is she still even human? What if I came out and told you that the imposter is actually something completely otherworldly? Would you believe me if I told you that the imposters live among us, sneaking around, making decisions, plotting their cold-blooded takeover? They look just like you and me, human in every sense of the word, but there's one major detail that sets them apart from us, and that would be their reptilian nature. Crazy, right? I just let you know that your mom might be a whole lizard person. And that's insane enough, but imagine a world where literal reptile-human hybrids secretly make their way to positions of power. Who could you even trust? Could you trust anyone at all at that point? Thankfully, we don't have to imagine such a world because that could never be true, right? Right? Can you tell me for certain that you've never ever come into contact with a reptoid? Are you sure? These supposed creatures are understood as fictional for the most part, but I bet you didn't know that there exists real-life reports of lizard people from all over the globe, reports that are documented to this very day, not to mention all of the ancient civilizations who once held these creatures to the status of godliness. So with a history of serpent gods, lizard sightings, and documented encounters with these creatures, how could this be a work of fiction? For the answers, let's dive deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole. And there's plenty of theories surrounding reptoids, but let's review some of the most well-known ones. One of the most popular conspiracy theories surrounding lizard people is that they are secretly controlling the world's governments and financial systems. According to this theory, lizard people have infiltrated various organizations and are actively working behind the scenes to manipulate world events and control the population. Some people believe that these creatures are responsible for wars, economic crisis, and other major events that have shaped the course of human history. Another theory suggests that lizard people are responsible for a wide range of supernatural phenomena, including ghosts, UFO sightings, and other unexplained anomalies. Former soccer player turned conspiracy theorist David Icke has also played a key role in developing this subject. The former professional goalkeeper and television presenter David Icke found international fame back in the 90s when he allegedly began uncovering a secret lizard Illuminati plot. Icke discovered that a race of shape-shifting lizards has been masquerading as presidents and monarchs for centuries in an attempt of world domination. After contemplating what is said about reptoids, and what people assume they're doing behind closed doors, you might be asking yourself, why do people believe all this? And you probably think they're crazy for assuming these things. But remember, there is proof out there documented, and not everyone lets this kind of information go over their heads. Various human encounters with reptoids have been documented, but a few stand out above the rest. Our first incident takes place June of 1988 in Southern Carolina. At 2 a.m., 17-year-old Christopher Davis pulled over next to a swamp on a deserted road to change a flat tire. Just as he finished, he began to feel an uneasiness fill his entire body, almost certain that someone out in the distance was keeping watch. The more he concentrated on the darkness ahead of him, he was beginning to witness an incredibly tall silhouette, and then he noticed the blood-red glowing eyes. The creature then chased Christopher, who barely escaped with his life. Christopher was so shaken up by the incident that upon his arrival at home, his parents made sure to call the police and let them know what was happening. Sheriff Liston Trustdale went to the family to interview Davis and demanded that he take a lie detector test, which he passed, of course. And interestingly, when asked to describe the creature, Christopher made claims that the creature only had 3 fingers and green skin. Oh, and the glowing red eyes. Can't forget a detail like that. Our second case takes place in the spring of '88, when a crop duster by the name of Frank Mitchell reported seeing a giant lizard man cross his field just as he was taking off on his plane. Then, in 1990, Bertha Blythers and her 5 children claimed they almost hit a lizard-like man while driving near the same swamp that Christopher Davis had his own encounter. Coincidence or not, there's always a very strange presence to be observed in the areas that these people had their encounters. It feels like the evil may very well hide in our own backyards as well. Punjab, India, 2001. A boy by the name of Balji is born with a bizarre deformity, a 7-inch tail. Many believed in his tail as a sign of divinity, and many locals began flocking to his home. offering money, prayers, and gifts, hoping their wishes will be granted in return. He otherwise seemed normal, minus the serpent-like tail at the base of his spine. The reason for which he was being worshipped lies in India's own rural legends featuring beings with tails, which lead these people to believe he was one of the gods appearing in human flesh. In addition to humans born with tails, there are other genetic conditions that might suggest a link with our reptilian past. For example, people with the skin disease ichthyosis have dry, scaly skin. Others with the diseases syndactyly and ectrodactyly have fused fingers and claw-like hands. There's even a biblical legend that people who lived before the patriarch Noah had webbed fingers. It is said that before Noah, everyone had webbed fingers, until Noah was born. He was the first to be born without it. Cases of the lizard-like beings exploded in the 1980s when UFO hysteria was in full swing. But something set apart those few who came across these humanoid creatures. There were numerous cases where people have woken up in a frozen-up state, unable to move, while seeing the 8-foot green lizards hovering over them. And each and every person that has reported on this remembers that petrifying sense of complete dread and hatred that overcame them during the moments of terror. Would you consider these cases of lizard humans proof that our reptilian ancestors still exist? If they do, what can the human race expect from them? I'm sure it isn't a positive outcome, otherwise they wouldn't be hiding their existence, right? Some say they are seeking to hijack life on Earth, over thousands of years and more, to infiltrate human society and change it into their image, to centralize power in the hands of those that represent their interest. And you have to wonder just what role reptilians play on Earth. I mean, it is also believed that reptilians don't even want to wipe us out completely, simply because we might be useful to them. In the same way a cow is useful to farmers, of course. After reviewing it all, there has to be some sort of creature out there. It can't all be a hoax. I just know that it's not nothing. Maybe not all, but the majority is connected, and leads me to wonder where they might be now. Do you think the government has connections with these beings? What are they planning, and why? As usual, however, maybe it's all a coincidence. Maybe we're looking too deeply into something that isn't deep at all. What do you think? Let us know down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, thanks for watching.